Loopcircus takes you from Moscow to Mankato, around the Twitterverse in 420. Loopcircus! Greetings from the middle of everywhere. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and this is your 420-ish Twitterverse update. Stay with us for this week's Once Heard, Can't Be Unseen Loopcircus Peekaboo, where we get a rational explanation for at least one of 2021's biblical plagues. In the global view, tensions continue to simmer in the matter of Russia and Ukraine, with the U.S. participating in the diplomatic gambit. Russia wants assurance Ukraine will not join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and democracy-minded folks in Ukraine are asking for support in their efforts. What's a floundering global superpower to do? Especially when the authoritarian opponent is well-versed in the art of bluff and subterfuge. Well, I've said it before, and it bears repeating here. And yeah, I know my opinion isn't supposed to matter, but I never claimed the illusion of objectivity anyway, so there's that. Anywho, planting a NATO flag on territory directly bordering Russia is similar to Russia fixing nuclear missiles in Cuba. And we know how that went. Nobody's asking, but if they did, I'd humbly suggest the U.S. sit this one out. In America the Beautiful, folks are beginning to learn the difference between the terms pandemic and endemic. Perhaps if enough people Google the difference, the Rona will magically get reclassified. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet, and the latest surging variant, Omicron, is showing numbers that chart in vertical upward lines. Infectious disease experts assure Omicron's effects are not as severe as previous variants, but Omicron is turning out to be far more transmissible. Unfortunately, the sheer scope of this exponential spread means U.S. healthcare systems are anticipating a brutal winter, and it's already begun. Long COVID and untimely death still occurs with Omicron, but far less likely for vaccinated individuals. It seems at this point we'll be living with the Rona for the foreseeable, but it's not endemic, like herpes, yet. Snow is melting home on the range where the spotlight of shame is once again on Kansas. This time, the Right Honorable Senator Roger Marshall went on the attack, seeking to discredit the nation's chief health officer, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Like the Right Honorable Rand Paul, Marshall is carrying InfoWars-like conspiracies to the Capitol for this purpose. Paul lobbying to have Fauci fired, but finally losing patience, Fauci made sure to note on the record that Paul was fundraising on the matter with a page on the web for donations. In other words, for political gain.
That may not be the best choice.
The egg on your face fail fest continued with Dr. Marshall demanding Dr. Fauci disclose his financial dealings. Marshall wanted a Scooby-Doo unmasking moment where it's revealed Fauci is profiting from investments in pandemic-related businesses. I won't bore you with a comment. Here's the exchange.
Dr. Fauci, according to Forbes, you have an annual salary in 2020 was $434,000. You oversee over $5 billion in federal research grants. As the highest paid employee in the entire federal government, yes or no, would you be willing to submit to Congress and the public a financial disclosure that includes your past and current investments? After all, your colleague, Dr. Walensky, and every member of Congress submits a financial disclosure that includes their investments.
I don't understand why you're asking me that question. My financial disclosure is public knowledge and has been so for the last 37 years or so, 35 years that I've been director.
The big tech giants are doing an incredible job of keeping it from being public. We'll continue to look for it. Where would we find it?
All you have to do is ask for it. You're so misinformed. It's extraordinary.
Why am
All you have to
I
do is ask for it.
misinformed? This is a huge issue. Wouldn't you agree with me that you see things before members of Congress would see them, so that there's an air of appearance that maybe some shenanigans are going on? I don't think I assume that's
Senator,
not the case.
What are you talking
it's
about?
Not the case.
My financial disclosures are public knowledge and have been so. You are getting amazingly wrong information.
So I cannot find them. Our office cannot find them. Where would they be if they're public knowledge? Where?
It is totally accessible to you if you want it.
For the public. Is it accessible to the public?
To the public.
Great. We look
Senator
forward to
You are
reviewing it.
totally incorrect.
Well, we
Senator
look forward to
Marshall,
reviewing it.
Senator Marshall, Dr. Fauci has answered you. It is public information, and he's happy to give it to you if you would ask. Senator Moran.
What a moron.
Kansas. Go! At the fort, a new health sheriff is in town, but he's no rookie, and his experience and love for the area is widely known. Dr. Jeffrey Curtis joined the health and wellness team at Fort Hays State University, replacing Dr. Dallas Richards after a 30-year tenure. According to a university press release, Dr. Curtis's ties to the community span generations. He got his undergrad here at Fort Hays, then went on to study medicine at KU, then on to a fellowship in cardiovascular disease at the University of North Carolina's School of Medicine. He and his family returned to the area in 2002, where he served as the director of Hays Med's cardiology services for the next 19 years. He brings his expertise to the fort, and we're glad to have him back. In sympathy for Uncle Joe this week, the rhetorical gloves came off for voting rights, but nobody was happy about it. Activists remind him daily that a federal action aimed at countering the voter suppression efforts in several states was a campaign promise. They know the only way to get it done is to change Senate filibuster rules. But promise he did, deliver he didn't. And now it looks as if Biden will preside over a 3-year lame duck administration, with GOP leader Mitch McConnell leading the obstruction efforts. McConnell wasted no time savagely denouncing Uncle Joe's latest voting rights speech, which included a proposal to modify rather than eliminate the filibuster. McConnell promised to turn the Senate into a scorched earth hellscape if Dems tampered with his favorite obstruction tool. Of course, this leads many to wonder how that might be different from any time since Obama's first term. Amusingly, one of the filibuster's modifications proposed by the Dems was that whomever issued the filibuster would be obliged to stand on the Senate floor nonstop for the duration of the action. You know, like that scene from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Yeah, this is where they'd separate the players from the posers. But thanks to Biden's inability to persuade the caucus, we won't see that anytime soon. And finally, in the border town of Texarkana, a sign of the apocalypse showered the good citizens December 30th. Not with toads like Egypt in Moses' day, but fish falling from the sky. KXX-TV reported that people found fish scattered on sidewalks and lawns. But before biblical panic could set in, city officials provided a rational explanation on Facebook. It's called animal rain, a rare phenomena occurring in the wake of intense waterspouts or drafts. The fish were swept up by the forces of nature, then inexplicably dropped out of the sky. If only Ramses had Facebook. All right, that does it for today. Get more loopy fun from our website, loopcircus.com. Thank you for listening. Be safe, be well, good luck, and pay the love forward. This is Ronnie Hayes. Till next time, so long.